Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Black Monster Cup. It's finally here. We're here for our grand finals between SK-Gaming and H2k-Gaming. If you've only just joined us, my name is Munchables. Casting with me, of course, is Osigeles, and we have a special guest. We're going to do a tri-cast with Aranea. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great.
Yeah, me too, and I have to say, last game was pretty fun to cast. Millennium looked so strong in that, but getting on to this game, we are into Champion Select already, Irelia, Syndra, Zed, and Ahri being the first 4 bans to come out, and it does not surprise me at all to see Syndra banned against Godbro and Echan. He has done so well with that in the BMC so far.
Yeah, same for Irelia, for BMC. He is really famous player for playing Irelia. I didn't really expect the LeBlanc ban, because I thought Febiven was gonna play or LeBlanc or Set, but they seems to care more about the Oni-chan LeBlanc, so that's surprising for me.
Yeah, I mean, Oni-chan is definitely a good LeBlanc player, but maybe banning out some of the other things would have been better, as you were saying.
Yeah, the only thing I'm aware of right now is it's Set ban, Ahri ban, Syndra ban, LeBlanc ban. It's already 4 bans for the mid lane. There's not many options for mid lane. I believe Odoam is gonna play something like Lissandra for top lane. Since everything like Irelia and Nara are banned, and he's playing tons of Lissandras. And I'm not really sure what they're gonna play on mid lane, like Oni-chan and Faven, what actually they're gonna play.
Well, it looks like Jace is being locked in for Bivin, probably. Adwamne could take that top lane, but typically we see it in the mid lane nowadays. And for Bivin, actually, we saw him in the semifinals play Jace and absolutely destroy with that pick. So that definitely makes a lot of sense. Now we've got the first rotation coming out of their opponents, and I'm curious to see what SK Prime are going to go for here. Typically, in this kind of situation, we see like AD carry jungle being locked in, maybe like a Lucian Pantheon, something like that.
From the part of the AD carries, Steelback is playing a lot of like freaking Lucian, but the one who is playing like really strange AD carries is Jarnan. Like Jarnan is playing more like Severe and Graves and stuff like that over the Lucian Corki flavor of the month.
Alright, well, it looks like Steelback is going to get that Corki, and that, again, it's not too surprising. We've seen him play a lot of Corki so far in the Black Monster Cup and do really well with it. Binsu on the Maokai, how do you think that's going to deal with, potentially there's a Rumble that could come out here against it, or maybe Lissandra?
It could be, it's most likely going to be Rumble, or even Jay's top lane, because we're seeing right now Fabian dropping some mid lane picks, so it can be Jay's top lane, and a Sheriff or a Fizz or something like that for Fabian on the mid lane. And having Lulex on Lee Sin is most likely his best champion. He's been famous over the seasons for playing Lee Sin, and he's gonna prove me wrong and playing Janna for the support.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. Lulex is very good on that Lee Sin, like you say, so that'll be a really good one for H2k to pick up. Janna seems to be very popular at the moment as well. So good at protecting your AD carry and just making your laning quite strong as well. It's really good for helping you when you go for trades.
Especially if you go for something like Lucian. Like I think Lucian Janna bottom lane will be really good against that, against Corki, plus potentially gonna be a Thresh.
Yeah, I think
know
Thresh
Barney
is most likely.
Yeah, Barney D plays a lot of Thresh, so it's most likely gonna be like a Thresh Corki bottom lane against a Lucian Janna that it should be fine for both lanes to use, kind of farm and wait for the jungle.
I wonder if they're going to go for that Twisted Fate jungle here. I don't think it would be that great up against the Lee Sin. It's a little bit too risky. You're going to get invaded a lot. Could be a Twisted Fate mid lane, though.
It could be, but I don't think Godbro is going to play Twisted Fate. Or maybe it's going to be.
Maybe just trolling us there with the Hollow. We'll have to see.
Well, the Pantheon does get locked in, like I was thinking, and that makes a lot of sense. He is so good in the jungle on this new patch. Obviously 4.21 has just hit, so that's hit his effectiveness a little bit. You can't do those early dragons quite as well because the dragon attack's now a spell, your shield doesn't block it, but he still does have really good early game pressure with the good ganks. The Grand Skyfall is a great tool for initiation, and the Thresh being locked in for Barney D, just like me and you thought, Arne.
Yeah, and we're gonna see another Shiver pick. I said Jarna is playing a lot of Shiver on these accounts. Like he's not really playing the Lucian, Corki, AD carries that everyone else is playing, and we see something really interesting.
Yeah,
not sure if it's. I don't know if it's because he doesn't have all the champions, or he actually gonna see a Cho'Gath on the top lane.
Yeah, quite possibly could be a placeholder. We'll see if that is the case. But I mean, Cho'Gath top lane. I've seen it before. It was quite a while ago, but I'll be very interested to see. How do you feel that matchup goes, Maokai versus Cho'Gath?
I think it's pretty much a farm fest. Like, no one is gonna kill each other. They're just gonna wait for the jungle, and the early jungler Kings can kill the other one. But it's still like Cho'Gath is not really a reliable late to gank.
Yeah, and also Cho'Gath did just get buffed in 4.21. His ultimate's changed slightly, although the lobby's been unmade. That signals to me that this was probably a proxy pick, so hopefully we'll see what that is very soon. In fact, I'm just going to ask the players.
Yeah, by the looks of things, going to be seeing that Azir in the mid lane. I'm very interested to see what that's going to go up again. Obviously, Azir, quite a powerful pick. We've started to see it be picked up a little bit more often. It didn't immediately come into the meta. It took a little bit of time for players to want to actually play that, but starting to see that a lot more now.
The Cho'Gath was a Lissandra, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I kinda say that it will be Lissandra, even though Ramble makes so much more sense against Maokai, because Ramble actually can pressure Maokai really hard on lane. But still, Lissandra is a really good pick, and also against Azir. There is a champion that if you actually CC him, as Lissandra can do, you are gonna just one-shot him every single time. So it's not a bad pick, but still, I thought Rumble would be a great choice as well for that combo.
Yeah, I guess they just want that CC like you were talking about, maybe to try and lock up Azir. Obviously, he's quite easily able to maneuver around fights with the shifting sands, and he can get himself out of bad situations with the Emperor's Divide, but if you're locked in that frozen tomb, you can't do those things. Similar reason to why we see Lissandra being picked up against Ahri a lot. Anytime you're against a mobile champion, that ultimate from Lissandra is so effective.
Yeah.
I love this, that SK Prime, as we go through the picks and bans again, they've actually spelled out SK Prime with their bans there, the SKP, with Sejuani, Cogwell, Poppy, but we're just going to be dashing straight through those picks and bans again. Obviously, we know they're already locked into their champions. So, Janna Sivir versus Kog'Maw Thresh in this bot lane. Potentially could be quite an explosive lane. Obviously, Voidal and Hjarnan, they're going to have quite a defensive lane there with that Sivir Janna.
Yeah, I mean, they can do good in trades, though.
But they're never going to lose the lane. Like, Sivir Janna, if you don't lose the lane first, like, 2 levels, that is kind of hard. Because Thresh, actually, the potential of Thresh level 2 is really, really, like, it's really deadly. In the moment he get level 2, if you grab someone and you instantly go in, you can probably win the lane at that moment. After that moment, there's like no way Sivir Janna are gonna lose the lane. Only if Janna get hooked, and still I don't think they can do anything with the tornado. So I think like bottom lane is gonna be a farm fest. Top lane can be a lot of action, especially because both champions like Lissandra and Maokai has a lot of CC. So every time Lee Sin or Pantheon are on top lane, they can get a kill. And mid lane, I believe, is going to be another farm fest and waiting for the jungle to a bad position of the enemy mid laner. But I think the more action is going to be in the top lane.
Yeah, they do have a lot of CC in those 2v2s. Often when you talk about the top lane, you have to talk about the top laner plus the jungler, right? So yeah. Maokai plus Pantheon, that's a lot of crowd control. You got Lissandra, Lee Sin. It's a little bit less crowd control, but Lee Sin brings, a decent amount of damage, and especially past 6, that Dragon's Rage is such a good tool for initiating a fight. So I think there's going to be a lot of action in the top lane, like you said, maybe a little bit less elsewhere. Guys, we're going to head to a quick music break, though, before we go into this first game of our grand finals. We've got H2k-Gaming versus SK Prime. It's going to be a great one. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our grand finals. You're joining us for the first game of this best of 3 between H2k-Gaming and SK-Gaming Prime. Your casters for tonight are myself, Munchables, Osigalus, and our special guest, Aranea. I'll just quickly introduce the teams. On the top right of your screen, on the red side, we're going to have SK Prime. In the top lane, we're going to have Beansu playing Maokai. In the jungle, we have Taiki on Pantheon. In the mid lane, we're going to have Godbro Oni-chan playing Azir, Steelback playing his AD carry Corki, and the Barney D playing Thresh in the support role.
And on the blue side, we've got their opponents, H2k. We've got Adwamne playing Lissandra in the top lane, Lulex playing Lee Sin in the jungle, Forbidden in that mid lane on his Jace even, Hjarnan on Sivir, and Voidal on Janna.
Right, so a little bit of poking going on across this map. Not much level 1 action. Neither team really wanting to go too aggressive at this stage, just throwing out some deep wards. I like this ward coverage across the map, though, by SK Prime. They know exactly what H2k wants to do right now.
Kind of both teams know exactly what they're gonna do. The only thing is this level 1 by both bottom lanes. They're gonna start with the Grom and the Golems. They're gonna let jungle start. Probably, Pantheon is going for the Grom, so it's only gonna be Lee Sin starting the other side from bottom lane.
It's interesting that they're going for this, actually, because on 4.21, if you don't have Smite, you can't actually take that buff away, and the creature camp has it. So Hjarnan and Voidal will get stunned up by this Krug camp.
Yep.
It
Gonna be
means as
interesting.
well.
And they're gonna lose a lot of time there, probably.
We'll have to see. Obviously, they're doing a pretty good job to juggle the aggro between them, and we'll see Barney D and Steelback will take a little bit more damage from that Grom just because of that poison, but both of them going to successfully take those away. Neither of them giving the AD carry all of the experience like we've seen previously. Both sides just sharing that experience among themselves.
Yeah, and actually, it looks like H2k got to lane a little bit slower, but because they can push so quick with the Ricochet that Hjarnan decided to start, they actually did hit level 2 first.
Yeah, and Sivir got instantly level 2 sealed to avoid that Thresh grabs early game, so he's gonna have a really safe lane, bottom lane for Sivir and Janna.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for the Barney D to actually land any CC onto them. The only real way that they can do it is maybe try and time it with a Phosphorus Bomb so that that procs the spell shield rather than the Death Sentence, but even so, that's difficult to do. You're going to have to see if they can manage that.
Yeah, so as you were saying in the Champion Select Arena, now that they've hit that level 2, it's going to be really hard for Barney D and Steelback to really go aggressive unless they land an all-in right now, which it's not looking likely with the minions pushed out how they are.
Yeah, with the minions and the seal on Sivir, they pretty much can't do anything on lane. This is going to be like, Sivir is going to push forever this lane, and the only thing Corki has to do this game is just farm as much as he can and wait for the mid-game spike that Corki brings.
Yeah, obviously Corki's one of those Trinity Force champions, so when you get that Trinity Force, you can really make stuff start to happen. And when you've got the rest of your team with, the Pantheon on it, you can maybe go for some mid-game fights. The problem is that, Lissandra, Lee Sin, Jace, they're all great in the mid-game too, so it might be hard for him to actually abuse that.
The only thing they have to do in bottom lane for Kirky is just farm and wait for Pantheon level 6. Pantheon, when he reaches level 6, if there is not a really easy lane to gank, and they actually don't have more than Lissandra, the rest of the lanes are like Pantheon is just really good ganking for bottom lane.
Yeah, but in the top lane we see Taiki going very aggressive. Odwamne could be in trouble here. A nice Ring of Frost. That's going to lock up BMC, but he's able to get away. Is the red buff enough? It doesn't look like it is. Odwamne surviving that one narrowly, and it's a flash in the top lane for Taiki's flash.
I think Odwamne could just flash in the tower to the Maokai W, so he can just W Maokai in the tower and then freeze him. So Maokai will be forced to flash instantly. Right now he's gonna play against Maokai with flash. That he's actually gonna pressure him a lot.
Oh, bot lane Voidal actually took quite a lot of pressure there from the Barney D. Good job landing the hook onto the Janna. BMC didn't go back after that exchange in the top lane, so he just tried to use what regeneration he had to keep there and keep farming, but he's still behind in farm compared to Odwamne.
Yeah, obviously there is that big wave up in that top lane as well, so he's, well, I say big wave, it's only a couple of minions extra, but he's going to start to fall behind, and he's actually run out of stacks on his flask, so he's going to be heading back to base. But in the mid lane, we're going to see Godbro could be in trouble, but he's able to flash away, managing to dodge out that Sonic Wave.
It was, I was just watching the top lane gank. It was kind of lucky because they didn't get the kill, Pantheon, because he didn't have any single point on the E. If he will have a point on the E and they will make like almost the same damage, he will actually crit Lissandra before the flash, and he might get the kill there. But he, instead of having like a level on the E, he's still second level on Q to do more damage.
Yeah, it's interesting that he decided to do that. I guess maybe he was hoping that the upfront damage would be enough to get Odwamne low, and he wouldn't necessarily use that to finish off the kill. But we do have Lulex now, kind of camping in this top lane bush. Maybe they're expecting Taiki to come up here.
Yeah, looking for an opportunity, and it looks like Taiki may well go up there, possibly heading towards the enemy warp's going to throw out a ward there. We're going to see BMC locked up by the Ring of Frost. There's the slow from Lulex. He flashes forward. Can he land the Sonic Wave? This could well be a kill if he can. That's the Sonic Wave. Going to go down. There's the damage. First blood comes across to Odwamne, but now Ike actually deciding that that's not a fight he wants to follow up on.
It was really well prepared by Lulex there to gank and wait for the Sonic Wave to the last second. He was gonna be like 100% sure hit, and also it was gonna apply more damage because of the Q damage percentage. Yeah, so it was pretty well done by Lulex and by Odwamne to set up that kill.
Oh, Forbidden.
Yeah, Forbidden could be in a lot of trouble here. There's the stun goes down. But nice knockaway. Oh, tanking the tower there. Godbro got very low. The accelerated shock blast comes through. Forbidden escapes the gank and picks up a counter kill.
Godbro accidentally used a Rise on the tower to deal damage to it rather than summoning a soldier that he could have helped kill Forbidden with. That was quite a big misplay there.
Yeah. It was actually not the best gank by Panther, but still, if they had done it better, they would get a kill there and probably survive that, but it was quite misplay by Godbro.
Yeah, and you really don't want to be giving the Jace in this mid lane an edge, because he can definitely put a lot of pressure onto Godbro during this mid game before Azir gets really strong. Obviously, Azir becomes ridiculous as the game goes on, but if he can't get ahead, it does mean that Forbidden could maybe stop him from reaching that late game.
Yeah, and Jace on mid-late game with this Sivir comp and Lissandra CC is gonna be really, really hard to just even like reach him or even like kill him and don't get pulled by him. So it's gonna be this pretty good start by H2k, and I definitely have to say that H2k has the edge on the mid-late game, and having a win on this early game is pretty good for them.
Yeah, Taiki's really trying to put a lot more pressure on Forbidden now that they messed up that gank. They really need to do something to Forbidden. As you can see, he's just putting so much pressure on the Godbro right now, but it's just not working out.
No, we could see a bit of a battle at this blue buff. Taiki getting caught out. There's the slow coming through from Voidal. There's the knock-up. The Q has landed. That's going to be more than enough. They actually donate that kill over to Forbidden. He walks up and throws out a shock blast, and Forbidden already has 2 kills. That is not something you want to see if you're playing for SK Prime right now.
That's a really good start by SK. Going to enemy blue buff, just camping there and waiting for Pantheon there. And Pantheon has no flag, and with the Janna's CC and the Lee Sin damage, it's gonna be like a free kill. And they even let the kill to Jace, that is right now 2-0, and he's gonna really, really dominate this mid lane and this entire mid game.
Yeah, and actually, also, Taiki was only level 4 compared to Lulex's level 6 in that fight. So he was not tanky anywhere near compared to what he needed to be to survive that.
Yeah, and this was kind of a mistake from Odwamne, because they knew they were gonna invade red buff, and he didn't push fast enough. He was just letting push by Maokai, when he could just solve the lane and go to the enemy red buff to get it.
Yeah,
but this was probably a
in the
miscommunication
meanwhile,
by
Forbidden
both of them.
pushing on mid.
Yeah, still, like, he was already pushing mid lane, because he knew, like, Lulex was going to enemy red buff. But if Odwamne would have pushed the first time, then they would just invade the enemy red buff and probably get another kill, because Panther is pretty much out of the game at this point. Like, he's level 4, while Lee Sin is almost level 7 with his blue buff, probably.
Yeah, so looking across the scoreboard right now, H2k already looking in a very strong position, 2,500 gold ahead at the minute, 20 CS and 2 kills up in that mid lane. We already see that tier and the Brutalizer coming out. Forbidden looking to be in a very strong position in this early game.
Yeah, he is looking really far ahead, but also if you look at that bottom and top lane, H2k have a CS lead pretty much across the board.
They do indeed, and I mean, if they can continue to snowball this could be bad. As we mentioned, the late game from H2k is a little bit stronger than the SKP late game, so if they can continue to win out this early game, it could spell disaster for SKP.
Well, for me, this whole early game is set by Lulex ganking top lane, getting the kill and putting Odwamne ahead, and then going to bottom lane and waiting on the blue for Pantheon and killing Pantheon again. So right now, Pantheon was pretty much all the pressure, while at the same time, just Lulex is applying pressure everywhere. And right now, we see like Jace is gonna back, most likely gonna prepare for the first.
Cannon's damage onto the Barney D there. Just throws everything out, and a nice flash Howling Gale from Voidal just secures that kill. Barney D couldn't even flash away because he was in the knock-up when that all went down.
Not sure what was Thresh doing there.
Cancels the teleport actually, so BMC decided not to go for that. Odwamne did use his teleport, and now he has to walk back up to that top lane again.
I mean, he didn't lose too much due to that teleport, though, at the very least. The lane was pushing in his favor at the time, and it doesn't look like BMC is going to be able to do anything to abuse the fact, at least for the moment, that Odwamne had to use that TP down. But, you know, if you look at the cooldowns, they're actually quite similar, because one of them was cancelled, so at this point, it's not as if they can abuse it. Oh, bot lane, though.
Barney D could be in trouble again. My client's frozen.
Oh, well, I'll keep play-by-playing for you. It looks like they're just going to be able to back away from this. It was a good dark passage from the Barney D. Get Steel back out of there as well. And actually, Godbro wants to roam down. I think he was spotted out by a ward, though, and he realizes that, so he's deciding to go back.
That was really good play against by Lulex, ganking bottom lane. And Barney used wait for the flash for the last moment to get less damage from this in, and at the same time he got healed by Corki to survive in the last second. But it was pretty well ganked once again by Lulex.
Yeah, we're top lane. Beansu gets obliterated instantly. Odwamne is really far ahead of Maokai in the top lane right now, about 30 CS up, and now 2 kills. And without him available to walk down potentially, and they see Pantheon top, they're just going to rush straight for this Dragon. Now, Dragon in 4.21 was changed. It's only 6% median AP for that first boost, but that is still very, very useful in order to snowball H2k even further into the lead.
Yeah, this is gonna be pretty hard for SK Prime to come back from this game. As we can see, like Fabian damage right now is just out of his mind. He's gonna be so much damage every single time he hit one of the EQ combo.
Yeah, I mean, if you compare their items, Fabian has already finished up his Mana Mune and the Brutalizer compared to a Fiendish Codex, Forbidden Idol, and 2-1 strength with his Grand Skyfall in the mid lane. They want to try and stop Fabian's early game, but unfortunately Taiki firstly had almost no mana, and secondly was not able to get close enough to Fabian there to actually land a stun. Lulex was nearby to save him as well if anything went wrong.
Okay, I've managed to reconnect my client now, so actually Lulex looking to be very aggressive in that jungle. He's jumping forwards, not able to get onto him, but manages to steal away that burn. Minsu getting a good amount of damage, but a nice Emperor's Divide gonna go onto Lulex. He's in trouble. He goes down. Godbro picking that one up. Now Forbidden gets a counter kill, but the exhaust goes down. Is he gonna be able to connect? Yes, he can. Picks up the double kill. Barney D now, the last man standing. Can he survive this one? I don't think he can. One more shot glass should do it. Actually, just gonna jump straight onto him. Picks up the triple kill. Forbidden looking terrifying already. 5-0-0. 25 farm ahead, and now he jumps onto Beansu as well. Quadra kill at the 14-minute mark. Forbidden is on fire.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened when you give a mid-late game champion some free kills. Like it happened this game. Right now he's a completely monster, and he's gonna have 2k gold to use on the shop.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's got so many options for what he can buy as well, but it looks like he's going to be rushing straight towards that last Whisper, which will completely negate the effect of any armor that SKP tried to build to deal with him. I mean, at this point, they can't build anything against him, at least not to have any effect early on, because that last Whisper is just going to cancel all of that out.
It is indeed.
I kind of felt Barney D was sometimes lagging, at least in the early game. He was stood on the lane a couple of times without moving, so I kind of guess he has some internet connection problems. It wasn't like in the first time he died, he was frozen there when Janet's on team fights around the game before going from QSS.
Yeah, that does make sense. Well, guys, we're back from the pause. Hopefully the Barney D's internet connection is a little bit more stable from now on. Lulex, he's looking like he might want to do something in this top lane at the moment.
Yeah, that's something we've seen a couple of times already from him. See if it's going to pay off for them again. Beansu could be in trouble. Does have his flash available, but if he goes down, won't have that teleport to get back to lane as quickly as his like. Now Odwamne going to go in for this one. There's the kick. There's the Sonic Wave to follow up. Ultimate comes out from Odwamne and clinically taking that kill.
Very nicely done there. The Frozen Tomb was really well timed so that Beansu couldn't walk away from range of the Frozen Shard, Odwamne's Q, so Picking that up is very nice. They also got the tower for it. They're 3-0 up in towers right now at only 15 minutes. And look at the gold lead at only 15 minutes in the game. That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, they're just pretty much dominating the whole map, controlling the whole map, watching how Janix is moving around the map, just placing wards all around it. It's pretty much how the game is going right now. It's just H2k warding everything and just having the full map control.
Look at the damage Forbidden already does. One accelerated shock blast took about half of his health. But now we're going to see Taiki getting caught in. Hjarnan actually gets caught by that death sentence, even with his spell shield up. Going to be able to steal away that red buff though. Picks that one up with the boomerang blade and actually spamming some taunts here.
Oh, Taiki.
And Taiki in a lot of trouble. Wamne just solos him there. Not a good situation to be in right now. And I mean, already we're only at the 16-minute mark, and SK can't even go into their own jungle.
God, bro. Whoa.
The damage coming out from him is obscene.
As we were saying, we can find this Janab going through with Listen right now and just placing wards everywhere. And right now with the poke of Viven and the speed of Shiver, they can just be anywhere and at any single time. Like right now, the game is completely controlled by S2k. I don't see SK Prime stopping this stomp.
BMC getting caught out. Well, not even getting caught out. It was farming underneath his tower, but Ramne just does so much damage already, able to just take him down with that frozen tomb. And I mean, what do you do right now when you're in the position of SKP? What can you do to come back from such a massive deficit this early on?
The only thing they can try to do is wait for this, not a split push, but different laning push by Jace and Lissandra, and trying to catch someone with the Pantheon ultimate. Trying to catch him with the Pantheon ultimate plus Maokai CC and letting the kill to Corki and Asher to start growing some damage. That's the only thing you can actually do, or waiting for a misposition or a miss dive by S2k. There is no other things SK Prime can do at this point.
And that's really the problem, isn't it? I mean, at the moment, it's H2k's game to lose. They need to make a mistake for SKP to capitalize on if they want to come back in the game. So, or rather, if SKP wants to come back in the game. So it's really hard for them to actually find an opening.
It definitely is, but I mean, looking at the scoreboard, we're already at 10,500 gold lead in favor of H2k. And just look how we already have a fed Lissandra and Jace. That's 2 carries, and Sivir has been farming this entire time. Already has that Infinity Edge and has a Zeal as well. And now we see Wamne going aggressive again in this top lane against BMC. But this is going to be the man drop coming down. Taiki is going to arrive to try and help out his friend. There's the stun onto Wamne. Look at the damage though. He's going to go for the 2v1 and he's going to make it. Wamne 2v1s in that top lane, and in the meantime we have them pushing in the bot lane.
I'm not sure what was Pantheon. I'm not sure what was Pantheon doing there. Like, Oroamne still has Sonya's up, so there was no way for them to kill him.
D has to flash away there. Yeah, sorry, you were. Yeah, the Zhonya's was still up. Yeah.
It was pretty much like 0-3 Pantheon and then 0-4 the kill.
Yeah, so H2k already taking an inhibitor in this game. 20 minutes in, they're looking incredibly strong, and now rotating up to this top lane, they might even be able to take a second inhibitor just 19.5 minutes into this game. This is a crazy lead they have. Voidal going to be using that Monsoon just to try and get a bit of sustain up. Hjarnan in trouble, but manages to spell shield that's the snare, but he goes down anyway. Now Forbidden on this front line, taking a lot of damage. He manages to get a kill before he goes down. Lulex just getting away. No, the spear comes through. A nice flash spear by Taiki. Picks up the counter kill. Forbidden getting away. Very little HP. I mean, SK managed to get 2 kills out of that, and they managed to defend that top lane inhibitor tower.
Wamne had no mana. If he had mana, they would have been frozen tomb there.
Yeah, Wamne had no mana. Wamne had also no ultimate. And Hjarnan didn't expect the damage from the Corki ultimate because he had heal, so he didn't use it because he didn't expect to die by that big rocket from Corki.
No, not really expecting the big AP damage burst that comes out from that one. Obviously, Corki has picked up those Sorcerer's Shoes, so the bigger rockets are going to do a fair chunk of damage, and every third rocket obviously does that massive, massive burst of AP, especially if you combo that with your phosphorus bomb, you can do a massive amount of burst.
Look at the item. Oh, well, just as I said that, Taiki picks up a giant spell. I was about to say, look at the item difference between the two junglers. Before that giant spell was picked up, it was basically like 2 whole items different between the two of them. And actually, look at this. They can just run in and take whatever they want from the jungle of SKP. H2k are so far ahead. Grand Skyfall, though.
Forbidden could be in trouble here. Taiki realizes he's not going to get that one. Actually throws out his laugh there just as a... I guess he realizes how far he's behind. Oh. That's going to be the dragon going down though. Forbidden being so aggressive. He's on his own basically. Nearly in a 1v4, but he knows exactly how far away to stand. He can just keep on throwing out that poke.
Yeah, I think right now with Forbidden items, they can just group up together, like just go everyone to a single lane. After Jarn is gonna push bottom lane, they can just go all together for bottom lane and get the bot in it, as they're gonna do, and just let Lissandra top lane, because Lissandra has TP, so if they try to do a crazy engage or something, Lissandra can just beat them in 1 second and just ultimate someone and one-shot anyone. Because right now with the items of Lissandra, as we can see, she has so much AP that she's gonna pretty much one-shot everyone, even Maokai.
Yeah, and especially with the poke damage coming through from Forbidden. That's going to be the top lane tower going down now. Udwamne managing to take that one away.
Yeah, really nice split push coming out here, and there's just not an ability to roam around and deal with this from SKP. None of their people who they could send to a side lane can actually 1v1 Udwamne, so at this point they can't even try and do that.
Look how squishy BMC is. He's only just finished that Rod of Ages. He just does not have the tankiness right now. This bottom inhibitor is being aggressed upon, or the inhibitor tower I should say. Hjarnan actually tanking up that laser for a little bit too long there. The shield coming through, but it's already incredibly low. Just a couple more auto attacks from Hjarnan will be enough to take that down. Just clearing away the minion wave with that boomerang blade. I would expect that to go down on the next wave. Monsoon just being thrown out there just to keep his team nice and healthy there, and now they're going to push through. Udwamne going to be the target up in this top lane. A nice knock-up blocks away his glacial path, but now he's going to be able to get his ultimate on himself. I don't think he lives this one, or does he? There's the Zhonya's. Don't think he has the damage right now, though. BMC managing to finally pick up that kill, but that's the bottom inhibitor going down, and now they're looking for the fight. Lulex jumps straight in with his Sonic Wave, but he goes down. Janna able to pick up the kill onto BMC though, and now Taiki takes a massive chunk of damage from that accelerated shot glass. They're looking for the fight. SK want to try and chase this one down.
Oh, Hjarnan
doing so much damage onto Taiki here. There's the Emperor's Divide, but it's not enough. Forbidden picks up 1 kill. Taiki escaping with the Dark Passage on just a sliver of HP. And despite a great effort by SK, they still only go 2-2, and they lose an inhibitor.
Yeah, that was probably like the best team fight SK Prime can get. In the moment that they kill Udwamne and they stack the CC perfectly, so Udwamne can run away with CC. But still, after this perfect, or for saying anyhow, perfect team fight, they still lost a tower, an inhib, and almost a third inhib in top lane. So that's pretty much how SK H2k is too far from SK Prime at this point.
Yeah, I mean, part of the problem is that if you want to kill Udwamne, you have to get through both the Frozen Tomb and the Zhonya's. That alone is a ridiculous amount of time where you can't even damage her. I think in total, it's 5 seconds of invulnerability. You know, BMC plus anyone else is not going to be able to invest 5 seconds of time whilst there are 4 other people pushing down an inhibitor in the bot lane and still be able to deal with that.
Yeah, definitely a difficult one to try and deal with. I mean, Lissandra being fed is something that's so hard to deal with, as you said, because you can't afford to focus her as your target. But at the same time, she does so much damage that you can't afford to ignore her either. And now we're going to see her jump forward, actually using the ultimate onto BMC. He's a tanky target, and he's going to be able to get away with the Dark Passage. Look at the damage on Godbro. Has to flash away now. BMC going to be the first one to fall. Azir goes down as well. Nice Sonya's by Udwamne. Going to keep him up. The Sonic Wave just being dodged out by Steelback. But that is going to be the inhibitor going down. Barney D on the front line. He manages to secure 1 kill for Steelback. That's going to be a 1-for-1 though, as Taiki goes down as well. The inhibitor being taken away. And yet again, just H2k just dominating this map so far.
Yeah, and this is going to be the 3rd inhibitor down for SK Prime. They really need a miracle to come back right now. To be honest, if I were them, I'd be starting to think about the next game. What are we going to do to deal with some of these picks? How are we going to try and organize our composition? And I think one of the big things is probably going to be banning out that Jace. That has done so well this game. Also maybe the Lee Sin.
I think Jace is gonna definitely worth a ban, but the main thing they have to do is try to like don't mess around on the early game. Like this game was kind of mess around in the moment the Pantheon ganked top lane, although I'm not survived with 1 HP literally, and then they ganked mid lane and Goodbro just died by the tower. So at that point they just had a pretty hard game in front of them. Without that, the game wouldn't be that hard as it's been right now.
Yeah, well now it looks like Adwana going in on Barney D.
Not even much to commentate there. Barney D gets basically one-shot by Odoamne. Everyone else jumping in to get an assist, but he's going to pick up his 9th kill of the game, and with that, with the support down and the 3 inhibitors down, right now SKP cannot even think about contesting this Baron. That's going to be going down. Lulex should have no trouble smiting that one away. And now it looks like H2k are going to push and possibly try and end the game right now.
Should be a fairly easy matter at this point. The only structures left are those 2 Nexus towers. Actually, Emperor's Divide has already been used. Whoa!
Oh, Johanna does not care. They're flashing over that wall to secure another kill for his team. There's the Monsoon just to top his team up. Right now, that's 1 Nexus tower going down. Lulex goes very deep for that one. I don't know if they're going to be able to dive onto the fountain. The Nexus is getting incredibly low. Lulex just surviving that Ignite there. And H2k take game 1 in convincing fashion.
That was a very scary game if I'm SK Prime. I'm thinking to myself, how did that go so